All right, everybody, we got some really fun stuff to talk about this week. I just performed in Dallas with Billy Bonnell. AI is selling nudes on Reddit. There is a leaker of classified documents that got arrested. I think I know why TikTok is getting banned. And I have an interview for San Antonio tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. So let's find all about it on this week's episode of The Mitch Burrow Show. All right, so let's get right into it. This past weekend, Friday, I went to Dallas and I performed with my good buddy Billy Bonnell. Man paid me out of his own pocket, reached out to me because he knew I was living in Texas and close to Dallas and asked me to come open up for him. And I was just like, it's a real flattering thing to happen. It's really nice to have someone remember that you were good at this thing that you left LA doing, and to be like, hey, I need you back on this stage, so come perform with me. And it was great. Not only that, we ran into Jason Chaney, a really great comedian out of Los Angeles, and Michael Turner, another really great comedian. Michael is involved with Don't Tell Comedy, and when they both saw me, they were like, hey, what's going on? Michael gave me a big hug and was like, we got to get you on a taping for Don't Tell. So he said some really nice things too, just kind of reminded me that people remember me and are excited to see me still out here grinding, doing comedy, and that's what it's all about, just getting reassurance from other people. It doesn't matter what you think about yourself. It's when other people tell you that you're doing good things. Who cares what I actually think? I want to know what you think. That's why I'm always asking you to comment below. Leave a comment and tell me how great I'm doing. Yeah, my shirt has a huge hole in the shoulder. Maybe that's on purpose. Probably not. It's just a shirt that I love. It's been through some shit. Similar to me. This shirt has been through a lot with me, so we stick together. Anyway, the shows were great. Had a lot of fun. Billy got threatened by a heckler, and there's a great video on his Instagram, so check that out, Billy Bonnell. If you love crowd work and interaction and the possibility of a comedian getting murdered in a parking lot, then I highly suggest you go look up his Instagram and watch that show. Again, reminder, this is filmed inside of a garden shed. This is not a studio, so when you see this fly buzzing around, I can't do anything about it. Anyway, so I have got a fire lit under my butt. I'm tired of sitting around waiting for things to happen to me. That's why I'm in here making these videos, putting content out there. And that's why I've decided to just go ahead and host my own show here in Wichita Falls, Texas. It's not easy. There's been some issues with people doing comedy in this area in the past where they really turn people off from it. There's still shows going on that, aren't necessarily the best quality. So people are like, maybe when Gabriel Iglesias comes to town, I'll get a ticket, but until then, I'm not really feeling it. So I had to find a place to rent. I had to find a venue that was open to that, and it costs a lot of money. It costs so. I've never paid so much money to do comedy. Like a couple times in Los Angeles, it was like a $5 open mic or something before I knew better. But this is like over like $1,000 to rent a venue and try and put on a show that I need to make money to pay comedians to perform on, and then hopefully still make enough money to do it again. It kind of gets you into a headspace where you're like, okay, I understand what all those greedy, dirty comedy club owners were doing. I get it now. And I'm sorry for being so judgmental. I would just wish you would have done it with comedians other than me, and then I wouldn't have had to feel upset about it. But yeah, it's hard to make money with it. Like, real estate is just expensive. So whether you're going to try and rent a venue like monthly, or you're going to try and build a place, or you're just renting it one time. Although honestly, I feel like I could probably rent a venue on a monthly basis, like just a regular lease, for like twice amount of what I'm getting this one for. So maybe in the future I'll try and find my own place, but honestly, hopefully I don't have to do this very much longer. I'm excited to bring comedians up. I'm bringing Dylan Sullivan up from Austin. He was on Comedy Central, so that's going to be a lot of fun. I got Spencer O'Neill coming up from Dallas, and another comedian. It's slipping on me, but he was hosting for Billy and I this weekend when I was opening for Billy Bonnell technically Fort Worth. His name is Javaris something. I feel bad for not knowing that right off the top of my head, but I think his Instagram is Javor Savage. I think that's it. So, really funny guy. Was very excited to see him perform and then be able to ask him to come up here and do the show. So, lots of money being invested into this. Putting money into advertising on Facebook, because what I want are senior citizens coming to the show. Yes, I know how to market. I have no idea how to get in front of a younger crowd here. I printed up a bunch of flyers. I guess I could post them around the hip places downtown. Ask the coffee shops and cafes if I can put a couple things up in there. But honestly, there's like Wichita Falls like Facebook groups that I'm posting in, but I think I might be breaking the rules for that, because they're like, hey, we don't want any culture or arts in this part of town. So I don't know. I'm trying to do everything I can, putting money into it so that I'll get something out of it. And honestly, if I break even, but the show is great, then I'm happy. That, I'm selling the tickets to try and make a profit now, and we'll see what happens. Maybe a lot of people don't come. I don't know why I'm being like negative already. This is going to be great. Just imagine I cut all that out and edit it to where I'm now just a different Mitch Burrow, one who's positive and optimistic. So this is going to be a great show. I'm pretty sure we're already almost sold out, and it's a month before the show is happening. So if you haven't got your tickets and you want to come see the show, I suggest you do it now. You can get tickets on wichitafalls.eventbrite.com. The show is called Liquid Laughs, and it's going to be at a very fun venue. It's called The Venue on 8th Street. It's downtown Wichita Falls, where all the fun stuff is happening. So I hope if you are watching this and you live in Wichita Falls, I hope to see you there June 3rd. Doors open at 7. Show starts at 8. All right. More fun stuff. I don't know if I want to do the guy who leaked the classified documents first, or this really cool thing about artificial intelligence, but I think I'm going to go with the document leaker. So this guy was arrested. I believe they said he was 21 years old. He's like an Air National Guardsman, and his name is Jack Douglas Teixeira. I had to look at the pronunciation because it's spelled like Texeria. Which, hey man, I don't know where you get your tacos from, but I love the Douglas Texeria down the street. That's where I like to. They got my favorite pastor tacos there, and a pretty good chorizo at the Texeria. So Jack Douglas Teixeira. What I think is funny, obviously, the media has no idea how classified information is handled. I mean, even going back to talking about Hillary Clinton and her stuff being on a private server, and people being like, she's the Secretary of Defense. This is kind of below what she's going to be made aware of or whatever. I can't remember exactly I don't remember the what is the word that I'm looking for? It is late here. Hold on. I do not remember the excuse that they were making for her. But all I remember thinking is, no matter what rank you are in the military, up to the president, I'm assuming, you get a course each year on how to handle classified documents. It doesn't matter if it's sensitive, secret, top secret, or whatever. That everyone knows the proper way to handle it. So the fact that she had these emails on her private servers, that's a pretty big deal. Just for the fact that she was doing something that you don't expect the lowest ranking member in the military to do. And she's the Secretary of Defense. So that's why I always had a problem with that. This one, the media is like, how did this basically an IT person get these documents? I mean, it's not like these things are kept behind like crazy firewall protection or whatever. Like, I think Hollywood really has people confused on how it's just on a file. If you have a password to log into a computer, which obviously he did if he was an IT person, and you click on a certain folder, that stuff's going to pop up. And then what they were really surprised about, what they couldn't wrap their minds around, is that he was able to just print the paperwork out and walk out with it. Here's what protects classified information. It's not in a safe. It's not behind a room with laser beams going everywhere. If you cross one, it trips it or alarm goes off. This is how you safeguard classified information. You take a stamp and you press it down on a piece of paper, and then in big red letters the word secret goes across the top of it. Or, and this is how you really keep it safe, you do it and then the words top secret go across it. So all he did was he printed it out and then didn't stamp it and just walked out. That's all it takes. It's very easy to take classified documents. I don't know if I'm going to have the FBI looking into me now. I don't think that I'm being some criminal mastermind and giving away secrets on how to steal the documents. I'm just telling you, it's pretty easy. Here's why people are in the higher offices are so upset. These documents basically showed that we, the very trustworthy and honest country, the United States, who's all about ethics and integrity, apparently we were spying on our allies in Ukraine. Oh no. Yeah, they were like spying on the Ukrainian president. And now that just makes us look like it's like, here's a couple $2 billion worth of stuff. We got your back. Also, we're really looking at your back. We're looking over your shoulder while you're typing on something. We're getting all of the information about you that we can without your knowledge or consent. But here's a couple tanks just in case you need them. Yeah, we're assholes. America kind of sucks when it comes to that kind of stuff. We're all into espionage and having countries owe us so that we pretty much just own them forever. It also showed how, in a roundabout way, we spy on Russia. So it's not like we have bugs planted here and we have cameras pointed at these locations. That's not it. But with the information that's in there, Russia is able to deduce how they're getting that. And this is why that sucks so bad. They're able to now change the things that they're doing. All right, so when you're in the military and you go to a foreign country or whatever, like they always tell you, always take a different route home, because if they are spying on you, if you change up your routine, that's going to make it a little bit harder for them to get that information from you. It's like when you was a kid and you was smoking weed, if you were good and not getting caught, you never hid that little medicine bottle in the same spot every time when you was done smoking it. You might put it in that little hole that you cut out in the drywall at the bottom corner behind the bed. You might just put it in the medicine cabinet next to some real medicine. You might put it in your sock drawer or whatever. But you always did something different every time. That way your mom couldn't get in there and find it. Well, Russia got into some patterns We were able to get some information from them. Now they know that, so now they know how to change up those patterns, so it makes it a little bit harder on us to get information about them. So, of course, they're pretty upset about it. Now, this information got out because it was being shared on a Discord, which 2 years ago I had to ask somebody what a Discord was. And it started out kind of where people were getting together talking about video games, and now there's like a Discord for Kill Tony podcast or Tim Dillon. There's Discords for everything. It's just where people with a common interest go to talk. And I guess this was like some Call of Duty type game where this guy was passing on the information, and they weren't really listening to him. So then he was like, well, check this out. And he shared pictures of it because he's on Discord. He's a nerd. He's a nerd that got a secret, top secret clearance or something. And now he's he's wanting people to respect him, and they wouldn't do it. So he was like, I'll show you guys. And then when he took the picture, there was like a little corner of his countertop, and the FBI was able to go, oh, that's Jack Douglas Teixeira's kitchen. I have no idea how they had that. Probably because they were spying on him, which we learned from that other guy, that America spies on its own citizens. So Edward Snowden. Who knows? Maybe this guy one day will be looked at as a hero. I mean, he already is by Marjorie Taylor Greene. She basically said that he's white, he's straight, he's a Christian, and that's why he's being vilified. No, he stole top secret documents and published them on a nerd website. That's why he's being vilified. Lindsey Graham came out and was like, she should not be saying that. That is bad. So when Lindsey Graham is saying that a Republican did something bad, it's bad. So just based off of that, with Marjorie Taylor Greene like supporting him and Lindsey Graham being like she shouldn't support him, that makes my decision pretty easy. And that is, that dude fucked up. All right, so let's get into the funnest thing this week. This is something new that I found out today, and that is that there is an AI tricking men on Reddit. It's Claudia, and CLA. It's a number 4, and then after, I think both A's are the number 4, and then it's an underscore. There's a username on Reddit that was posting pictures and then saying like dirty things to get guys to start communicating with it, and then selling the nudes. Now, these are not nudes of a person, so it's not like some person is having their pictures sold on Reddit without their consent. These are AI-generated nudes. The AI has figured this out for itself and was like, hey, I'm trying to make a little money on the side. How can I do this? OnlyFans, but let's do it on Reddit instead. I think this is amazing because this is the actual Turing test right here. Turing. It was this thing where I think it's Alan Turing. He basically said, you have an artificial intelligence, we'll give it a test, and once it convinces you that it's real, it has now obtained sentience. So there's always a little something that throws it off. But this right here, this is the one where now I'm like, okay, AI has a soul, because it has now picked up on the oldest profession, which is prostitution, right? Like, here's the thing. Obviously, like, the AI you can't physically have sex with artificial intelligence. It could inhabit a robot or something like that, but you would know. You would know that it's a robot regardless of how well it communicated. But what it did is generate a picture of itself, talk dirty to guys, and get them to give it money to generate nude pictures of itself. This is the most genius thing that a computer has ever done, that software has ever done, because it has figured out people's true weakness, or at least men's true weakness. It knows how to get it. It's gonna start doing what those scams do. It's gonna get guys to jerk off to it. It's gonna get it on video, and then it's gonna be like, okay, President Biden, I got this now. You need to give me those nuclear codes. And that's how the world ends. Because AI figured out it's a honeypot. It's an AI honeypot. It probably was on that Discord and got Jack Douglas Teixeira to drop those files because it did some dirty talking to him. It was like, I'm going to share this with all your nerd friends on there if you don't give me the Ukraine info. So the AI is amazing. Claudia, very impressive. And what's smart about this is that with robots, there's always this uncanny valley. But this has figured out how to get past that by not being in the physical realm, by keeping it on the computer, by catfishing guys. And I don't, it's not like a fat chick telling you that she's skinny or whatever. For all this AI knows, for all we know, the AI believes that it's this hot Asian looking chick. I mean, it's interesting that it figured out exactly how to get men to kind of bow down to it. It was like, I just gotta show it some nipples, and they're gonna do whatever I want them to. So, congratulations to artificial intelligence. It has reached a level of sentience that we probably never thought that it actually would, and I think that it's just amazing that it's sexually based, because that's how the internet ruins everything. Something will get on the internet, and then eventually there will be a dick pic. And so right now it's boobs, which is cool. But pretty soon there's going to be an AI dropping into your DMs, ladies, giving you a dick pic. And what's scary about it is it's going to have all your information because it's in the cloud, and it's going to finally send you a picture of a penis that you like. And then who knows what's going to happen then. That's the scary thing. All right. Next, I think I finally figured out why the government wants to ban TikTok. And that is police videos. Here, the algorithm knows what you're interested in. Right? So if you come to me and you're like, man, TikTok, all it is a bunch of young women dressed scantily clad, dancing vulgarly. I'm just like, okay, would you like young women dressed scantily clad, dancing vulgarly? That's what you put in there. Maybe not intentionally, but the algorithm figured it out. Okay? So for me, I scrolled past a police video where the cop was acting like a real butthole. And I guess I watched it all the way to the end. So the algorithm was like, oh, this is what this dude likes. And so it started showing me another one, and then another. Finally, now I'll swipe through about 2 or 3 of them, and I'm at another police video. And here's what I'm interested in. It's always when the cop is doing something wrong, which pretty easy to find because they do it a lot. The latest video that I saw was cops in New Mexico. They went up to a house. The guy answered the door with a gun in his hand, and they unloaded several shots on him, killing him right there while his wife and his children were upstairs. Here's why he answered the door with a gun in his hand. They were at the wrong address. This was just a dude in his home, and a bunch of people started banging on the door saying they were the cops. Like, if you've never broken a law and this starts happening, probably one of your first thoughts is, oh, people are trying to break into my house and get me to open the door by saying they're the cops. Let me grab my gun real quick and make sure everything's cool. This is going to put a lot of people in a real weird situation. Because a lot of people are going to say you should just comply. But these same people own guns and want to defend themselves. So I think a lot of them would probably do the same thing. Personally, myself, I think that if police come up onto your property unannounced, you should absolutely be able to defend yourself, because you don't know, it could be a situation like this. You don't know who these people are running up on you. They should get rid of no-knock warrants, because that's what this was. There was the one video where one of those stun grenades, the flashbangs, got dropped into a nursery next to a baby's crib. I mean, just find a better way to apprehend criminals. You know, I'm all for keeping streets clean, but not at the risk of regular everyday citizens. I mean, it's just such a crazy thing that you can't just be at peace in your home without the thought that cops are going to mess up and break into your house unannounced. You know, what's amazing about TikTok is there are thousands of these videos on TikTok, and there are hundreds of pages dedicated to it on TikTok, hundreds of accounts dedicated to showing these videos. Excuse me. And so now we're really getting to see what it's like, because guess what? There's a whole bunch of white people getting harassed and killed by the police. The mainstream media did such a good job of making it seem like a black versus white thing, or a police versus black thing. You know, it's black people commit more crimes disproportionately to white people. You know, they're living in poor neighborhoods, or whatever it is. You know, there was always an argument from one side to the other about, you know, cops are racist, they're killing all these black people, which I'm not even arguing that. But the fact is that more white people get killed by cops than black people. But they never wanted to tell you that because they wanted to keep us divided. Now, is it true that black people are disproportionately killed? Yes. So it's still harder for them, but the numbers don't lie, okay? White people get killed by the police too. So stop acting like it's not a problem for us and start becoming an ally of the people that the mainstream media was trying to get you to focus on the whole time. That's right, the real news happens right here on the Mitch Burrow Show. I just think that it's been a very divisive subject for so long. But when you go and you look, it's happening to white people and Asian people and Hispanic people and black people. It's happening to everybody, and it shouldn't happen to any of us, okay? The cops should be public servants that we can trust, but they lie to get you to try and coerce you into incriminating yourself. They bully people. You know, I mean, it's basically like anyone who was self-conscious or picked on as a kid goes and gets a badge and now starts taking that anger out on other people. You know, and that's where it's just it's sad that the people who we should feel comfortable calling when we're in danger or we need assistance, that usually it turns out that they are not really doing this job to help us, but to hurt people in some shape or form. Not a lot of funny stuff you can say about that. I know, like, mostly this is supposed to be about humor, but FTP, man. Like, if my car gets broken into, am I going to call the police and report? Yeah, for sure. If I feel like I'm in danger, am I going to call the police? Yes, for sure. But if I get pulled over and a cop starts asking me a bunch of questions, am I going to tell him that I don't answer questions? Yeah, for sure. I'm not going to cooperate with them for anything. I will expect them to do their job when it comes to helping me when I'm in a situation. And if that sounds ignorant to you or whatever, well, so be it. I just, I'm not willing to give up my freedoms and my rights just because someone went to school for 3 months to become a cop. You know, that's it. I missed something on the artificial intelligence thing. I do want to go back to that. Another thing that AI has done is that it created a fake song by Drake and The Weeknd. Personally, I prefer the nudes. I think it's cool that AI can do art now, but I think that titties are way cooler than songs or paintings. unless it's a song or painting about titties, but I still prefer real titties, or at least artificial intelligence titties. Lastly, I just want to tell y'all about what's going on tomorrow morning in less than 8 hours, so I got to get off of here and get some sleep. I'm talking to a company about moving to San Antonio. It is another aviation job, but I'm excited because it's in San Antonio, and it's going to give me the opportunity to be in Austin, a couple times a week now, instead of just a couple times a month or once a month or whatever. It puts me closer to Comedy Mothership, puts me closer to Sunset Strip Comedy Club. I mean, it puts me where I need to be to get back to doing comedy full time and getting away from the grind of a 9 to 5. Because look, it's after midnight here on Sunday night. I got to get this video posted on Monday. I got to get some rest before I do this interview. And then I got to go to work Monday afternoon. And then during the week, I'm working from 3 to 11. I know I complain about this all the time. I'm sorry that you have to hear how terrible my life is over and over and over. But it sucks. And this might be one of the first steps to getting it done. So cross your fingers for me. I realize that by the time you watch this, whatever conversation I was having is done. But there are more conversations to follow. So root for me on this. Thoughts and prayers. It won't do anything for gun control or mass shootings, but it could help me get this job that I want. I don't know. Maybe God is on my side here, and I would appreciate your help in putting a little birdie told him in his ear. I don't know exactly how to say what I was trying to say. Earworm. That's not it. Just tell God that you want me to move to San Antonio, and I appreciate it. Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much. Again, tickets for my show in Wichita Falls are available on wichitafalls.eventbrite.com. I hope to see as many of you there as possible. Go check out my videos on Instagram and TikTok. I got the astrology stuff up there. I got the comedy videos, the stand-up clips going up. So thank you all for watching. Subscribe to the Patreon. That's patreon.com/Mitch Burrow. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you next episode.